And today I want to speak about the traffic and how to really scale fast based on the latest experiences when we hit several hundred K of thousands of revenue in the first months, So it's all about a lot of misconceptions. And I even sometimes see founders who don't they already reached maybe 7 figures, like sometimes they have already 10 million in revenue on different marketplaces altogether. But if it coming deeper to traffic and how to scale, they always have some bonus point at scaling. And I just want to share you general misconceptions today, not like just secrets how to do some ads or something. It's I only want to share things that you won't find on YouTube or any other program like Facebook or something like this. There are a lot of different programs already on the market. And later on inside the community, I will be sharing a lot of stuff like how exactly to launch some ads and everything like this. But today, I just want to speak about some misconceptions that usually limit projects at some certain point, why they don't scale. And then when they come to us, really they tell like, oh, okay, that was so easy, like one tweak, they do it, and they could have done it themselves sometimes even, not just with an agency or something like this. So I think I will share. I'm not sharing presentation. I usually don't do any presentations. I like to share real life screens with you. I will try to do it in a secret way, so you cannot really see some products behind this because it's not allowed, but still I want to share some real data with you. And based on this, maybe you'll get some strategies better, not just, through the presentations. So first of all, I want to focus you on the cases where there were some real misconceptions and people were just stuck, So this is one of the projects which we're trying to grow. I will show you. This is fashion industry. I like fashion industry mostly, like fashion, beauty, supplements are top 3 industry on my list. I like them the most, and nobody can tell me really that fashion is like high return rates or something. If you want scale fast, it's fashion, it's beauty, supplements, and all other categories are usually slower. The same amount of efforts, they are just slower. So you can really scale so fast, even if you wish, or even if you put the same amount of money there, you just can't. But in fashion, it's so good, of course, with some criteria, but you can scale fast mostly because you don't need to invest a lot of efforts in some content because it's just picture first. In other categories, you need to educate people more. You need to invest more time, money to build your shop UX better. So amount of efforts in fashion is much less, and then you can just invest everything you got in advertising, and you will be growing very, very fast. But I will be speaking today what you need to do first as your homework to be able then to just increase budgets and scale. So just let's take a look. This was a year before. A small brand, they had some success already, like they had 1 year with 200 SKUs. They had some SKUs working well, some not. And the only thing we did, we changed some UX for them, and just take a look. That was 1 year. You see, like 1 year before, and then they came to us preparing for Black Friday. They was trying to scale, but they didn't know how. And so Black Friday, first one, we just made the same amount in 1 month that they did the year before this. So the next month we did much more. So it was like we scaling every month at least 100K more. So it's it's just about how we prepare before we do any scaling with traffic. And usually people are afraid of several points, which firstly conversion rates, secondly cost of advertising. And people, because of this, they just don't scale, and they still are small. They don't have enough profit. So at some points there are just simple math behind this. that are keeping people stuck, and that's it. But for real, you can just be faster and step one a little bit further in front, and it will be easier. So I will just share with you. So when you scale, you cannot do the same good conversion rates when you are with low budgets in advertising. You cannot keep the cost per sale low. You just can't. This is how algorithmic ads are working. So when you scale, you will have larger attribution window. If anyone doesn't know attribution window, I will share it like this with you. So attribution window is, okay guys, one sec. I'll share my screen one more time. I'm not sure, have you seen what I shared with you like right now? One sec. Yeah. Can you see my screen now, guys? I think it is. So let's go it one more time. So this is a brand I'm speaking about as a real case, how to scale. So they did 100K a year before starting working with us, and it's not about promoting our agency, but it's about how you can implement the same strategies to like do even from zero. Just in several weeks we scaled it in several weeks, and you can do the same way, and it works later on. The same strategy, the same approach works after you just implemented it, So what I want to share with you is just, when you scale, people try to keep up the same cost per acquisition or the same conversion rates, but it doesn't work like this at all. So, and the main reason is this. So usually when you try to scale with advertising, it's the most effective way, first of all, because people think they first will do some organic stuff, they will do some influencers or something like this. Don't get me wrong, you need to do all of this, but I think this is the second priority. First, and the main traffic sources you want to do is Facebook, Google, Instagram. Then you can go for other platforms. But for real, launching Facebook and Google is the first priority that will give you all other channels growing. So what I mean, and this is a great example to understand how attribution model works, how you really convert clients, and why Amazon have higher conversion rates. That's why some people staying on Amazon and they just don't have the same amount of revenue. They could have much more on Shopify in most cases, but they just don't do this, and they keep on Amazon because they think of conversion rates. So it's strange for me. You can make profit, it's just the number is different, and you don't understand the logic behind it, how it works. And one of the customers of mine told me this. She was like in in the age when people are not used to Facebook advertising and something like this. And it was a good insight for me to hear this, that usually people just at this age, they don't go for ads with their brands. They stick to some traditional types of advertising, with maybe organic or building distribution networks, just calling, I don't know, selling points and try to sell their stuff there. So I mean, like people 50 years plus who are doing e-commerce or just commerce. So it's very different, and they don't go for advertising because they have never experienced, and they don't understand how to spend 50K into ads, even though they will get back to 200,000. So this is just a mindset and misconceptions people get. But first you experience it, it gets so easy to understand because it just usually works. But people are staying behind, afraid of some numbers which they think are bad, but for real they are good or normal, and they still give you the profits. So the only thing you need to keep in mind is your profit. Unless if your ads are profitable, and everything I will be speaking today is about how to make them profitable, of course. then you can scale non-stop and put all amount of resources you have into ads. This is how you will get to the point where you have a huge email list faster. For example, all the months, if your K period of sales is Black Friday, so all other months you need to focus to be profitable, but still to grow your email list first. So in your Q4, you will just hit the sales with your email list first. You just will be pushing all the stuff through email list, like daily. All this Black Friday week you will be doing daily sales, and in Friday, Black Friday, I mean, you will do several emails, and if you have several hundred thousands of users in your email list, you will get like several hundred thousands of revenue then. So it is different when you don't invest in ads. You won't get any of these leads from nowhere. And if you think you'll leverage somehow Amazon, Walmart lists, you can, but people are just not so intent from those, and you need still to grow them somewhere. And as yesterday, Chase Diamond email guy told us, even if you have a dead list, which is any type of list from marketplaces, you need to re-engage it, and the best way to re-engage the list is to turn it through the advertising still. So in order to get the email list, in order to have a very good organic searches, usually people just are not clear about the organic searches. For example, if you will check your any competitor, and we will do this together with you in our community, where we will be doing some brainstorming. I usually show, just pick one case, one project, and I show their competitors, and usually they like, oh, this competitor, they have like a huge organic traffic, when I show, what I show usually is that this organic traffic is usually like 60 to 80% is just brand searches. So it's just people looking for their brand name. So it's not real SEO results, like when people invested into some keywords, and they are on the first page. Mostly e-commerce projects, first 3 to 5 years, they don't focus at all at their SEO. They are still profitable and growing. So I would say the first priority you need in your shop in order to really scale is to get your misconceptions blown away. I will talk a little bit more about which misconceptions. Make sure you have a profitable model, and then the second stage is when you just go into advertising and all in. As much as it's possible, you put all the revenue back into ads, and this is how you grow. And the profit you make comes from the organic searches then, and from your email list. That's where you make money as a founders. Email list, and the cases I just have shown you, they made 20 to 30,000 of revenue from email list from the first month. And all other money you just reinvest into advertising as much as it possible. This is how you really grow fast with your traffic system and the funnels. So if you'll combine all the stuff together, what we spoke about all these days, and about email marketing and building the very good UX, and use things I will talk about today, you'll be able just to grow insanely fast. So as I told you, there are some niches that I would like to focus on, like fashion is the fastest thing. You can scale it very, very fast. Like it's very easy to get to 1 million per month within 1 year. It's very easy. If in fashion, you still will have higher return rates comparing to other niches. Of course, it could be 15% or like 20% in Black Friday. If you are in fashion industry and you have something more, I will tell you, just because you don't spend your time there optimizing, there is a whole amount of things you can do in fashion to decrease their return rates. So, but still, first thing first is like picking the good niche. If you are in fashion, in beauty, in supplements, you can scale really fast. You just need to prepare and make your homework very well. So, the first thing, that's why I wanted you to hear Daniel first. You cannot grow if you don't have a brand and you are just thinking about your product as the product-centric universe and how you improve the product, and you forgot about your customer. You're not customer-centric. You are not problem centric. You don't have your real customer experience. You don't understand their problems, their lifestyles good enough. You won't be able to make them fall in love with your product, and they just will be, even if it's so very logical how you try to sell the product, it's not about logical only. You need to have some, as I like to say, and people say in marketing, you need to have some dramatic demonstration around your product, how it solves some problem, how it tells some story. When your product can tell a story, it's like insanely good product. And if it's all combined together with brand, so you have a lot of products together, this is the first thing that you need to scale. So the next stage to scale is just drop your guards about the conversion rates and cost per acquisition. So this is what I'm sharing right now on my screen, is how attribution model looks like. So let's take a look one sec here, a little bit focused. So usually, for example, if you do Facebook ads a lot, most of the traffic are usually mobile traffic, and we all know this here, right? So when you click on ad in any, for example, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it opens as browser page, but it doesn't open a browser app. So it doesn't redirect you to your browser app. It opens the page inside Facebook, inside Instagram. So people usually, they just look through and maybe they like the product, maybe they close the page fast, but if they like the product, the ad will show several times more for them. And usually first people who buys within several touch points, within 1 to 3 days, it's just about up to 5% of people who will buy. Other people, they want to see ad much more time. And it's just logical is that if you will scan any niche, you will understand that the niche have some amount of people who can buy. So any niche, any industry has its size. So the size, it depends not only just about, I don't know, if you sell something for a garden, you can try to check amount of homes on the market with a garden or patio, but it's not like this. There is still some variables. If the homeowner is caring about the house, so if the homeowner really lives in this house, so this is how people usually care. If he rents out this house, he doesn't care. If he's caring about the house and want to improve it and have a garden, and you have some product for this garden, for example, then you need just to understand if he's on the right stage to show you this ad. So if you try to just to push an ad to any homeowner and just claim, hey homeowners, I have a good product for you, they won't buy unless at some point in their lives they really need this product. For example, people don't buy the house every day. They buy it once, maybe in several years, unless it twists or breaks somehow. And with latest hose on the market, you really have unbreakable, twistable hose, so you can keep it maybe 10 years in your garden, and maybe it will only be ruined with, I don't know, hot summer or something like this. So this is very important to understand that the amount of the size of your niche, it's limited. And so this all audience who can buy within 1 day, it's not so big. So usually when you scale, you are starting hitting this audience who are not so ready to buy, and but they kind of may be interested. So you will see them being engaged, even maybe making some add to carts at your shop. You will see this engagement from them, but because they are target audience, but still they are not on the stage to buy. So they are not like a qualified target audience who is ready to buy. And if you speak about those two segments, so first segment is early buyers who will buy within several days. There are still two more segments which are buying within time frame of 5 to 10 days and 5 to 10 touch points, and people buying within 15 touch points and around 2 to 3 weeks. So when you scale your ads, because of all these algorithms out there in Facebook ads or Google ads, all these algorithms, they work like this. They first, if you especially you have all the conversion tracking enabled, you tell people, you tell algorithm when somebody added to cart something or purchase something, people will, go and put something into the cart. Some people will buy, and based on all this behavior on your website, ads are starting showing more to those who buy first. And when you have small amount of the budget, a daily budget, I mean, in your ads, algorithm will just focus on, I don't know, maybe $30, $100 of daily budgets. He will spend all this money to get all these people who are ready to buy. But when you're scaling like thousands a day, you cannot like expect algorithm to show to only people who are there to buy. Algorithm is most likely focused on the much long-term perspective, like maybe 2 weeks, and being profitable within 2 weeks, because at least the falls in algorithms are different between systems, but usually it's like 7 days of attribution. So algorithm is not looking at 1 day conversion window, it's looking about 7 day conversion window, and there is 3 weeks conversion windows and more. You can scale this window more. So an algorithm analyzes if this person will buy within 7 days. And so it's not like this. And even sometimes if you are doing some advertising and traffic, so you will check and see, for example, okay, this ad seems like it doesn't perform well, and you turn it off, but in several days some purchases come back from this ad. So, and you like, okay, this was a good ad, and somehow I stopped it, and now you need to launch it again and wait again before it give you some purchases. But still it was a good campaign and you had to keep it because it's giving you some purchases. So this is one of the big misconceptions. And usually if you will dive deeper, for example, in some very full on every stage how to build your ad campaigns and everything, the first stage will be psychological. Like in trading, for example, you need to be ready to see those numbers big, how you spend and invest money in ads, and then later on they convert. But for real, with a good product and some things you need to prepare, you can be seeing results within several days. So when you scale and you put like maybe 300, 500, 1000 a day, you can see results within several days. Sometimes, and I can prove it to you also, when you start with your Shopify store, for example, or any other store, but I suggest Shopify or Magento at least, you will, if you start, you can see 15 days until first sale if you go with $30 per day, for example, ad budget. But if you will put 200 per day, you will have within 15 days, you will have 20 sales, for example. And those 20 sales will be faster educating algorithm, and it will be giving you more and more purchases within better cost per acquisition price. So within 15 days, for example, if you spend $30 per day and you made only one purchase, you will just lose a lot of money. But if you invest it faster, you will have faster data and you will be having more purchases faster and you will be with better profits faster. So this is really how it works. And sometimes people are just afraid of those numbers. They don't invest. They try to keep low. And this is the way how they are stuck and they die within this, just lose the money and that's it. So when you scale, really, you need to keep in mind all these three stages. As you see, most of people, they buy within late touch points, at least 3 visits of your website. And usually if you go in your Google Analytics, they don't really understand sometimes what all this information means. So if you will check direct visits, for example, you cannot even see it here. One sec, please. Okay, let's go. Last 7 days, for example, it will be showing. So you can see the direct, which usually you see like, and people think like, okay, direct conversions, purchases that happen from direct, it's my brand, it works very well, people know my brand. For real, it's not this way. So usually people are opening your ad in Facebook, inside Facebook, there is a small window like a browser style. It opens your Shopify store. They check it, they like it. So the second steps they usually do, they go into search engine and they try to search for a brand because they don't have any credit card attached or saved inside Facebook browser. They don't have opportunity to share the link in a good way. It's very hard. So they cannot save this link or something like this. So usually if they want anything more than just viewing this, they go and they open the browser up and they start searching for your brand. This is how people are getting this 60 to 80% of brand searches on the second stage. After this, after they spend second touch point, mid touch point from organic search, then on the third touch point, usually they go and start putting all this brand name again, and there is an autofill in the browser search bar, and they just hit this, and this is how direct visit happens. So direct visit is something when within 7 to 28 days, people are going through the steps from advertising to visiting your website for the third time. This is direct usually. So this is attribution model, and it's just technical. And behind the scenes, you also can have different parts of life of people. For example, when they first entered your website, they could be just, distracted with something, with work or something else, but they like the product, and it was just maybe their lunch, and they just want to invest more time in your product maybe on weekend because, for example, checking the style of your t-shirts or the sizes, it takes more time. Or if it's electronics product, it takes time to pick a certain thing. So usually people save first and then only they come back to buy. So it takes time, up to 2 weeks in some cases, and it just depends about how much you invest into your advertising, what's your average window and amount of touch points to convert the person. So the more you spend, the larger you will have, and you need to wait more time in order for your ad campaign to convert. But you can have indicators if the ad campaign is working and you can keep it, or you need to shut it down. And this is what I will be showing to you. So I just want to share it. So within 1 day, sometimes you can see these good conversion rates, and it's okay, but you cannot really scale and keep these conversion rates. When you will be scaling, you will still having like add to carts, you see almost 8%, sometimes it's more or less. But when you scale for real, you'll be having pretty much the same add to carts, but conversion rates into on checkouts will be lower, just because people are not ready to buy at the moment very fast. So the conversion rates will drop, and even in some cases we have very low conversion rates because, I don't know, the product is expensive, but still it is not connected with the profits. So conversion rates between every industry, it's very different, and on every scale it is different. If you're making several, I don't know, 10 50k per month, it will be very high. If you make 100 to 500,000 per month, it will be around maybe 1 to 3%. It's very rare cases when it's higher, and you don't need to process this first. You need to work on conversion rates. You need to understand how the flows on your websites work. You need to have tracking enabled when you can browse, video recordings, how people visit your website, like looking at Hotjar or Clarity. You need to improve your website and work on this, but don't think that you cannot scale unless you have low conversion rates. It doesn't matter. So this is the first misconception. Another misconception I want to talk about a bit is about cost per acquisition. So really, in a lot of cases, I will share you one of these cases. So people are just stuck with the, I want to have sales maybe within $10, $20, $30, just because people think that, this is what I get on Amazon and I want to have it here also. No, it doesn't work like this at all. All the latest years, ads cost almost doubled. So it's getting more and more expensive. The good thing is, if you have old account, if you have audience, you can keep up and you can keep all your ad acquisition costs still the same level. But when you scale, with the scaling, you will be having more and more expensive cost per acquisition. So you can say this are pretty high. And we have different campaigns and they all work together. And in some cases, we can have up to 200 per cost per acquisition. It's also grows with the cost per product. And I'm also the guy who likes more expensive products as much expensive as it possible. So I'm in love with some luxury products. It's like very great, very easy to scale, to tell the truth, and you cannot really scale if you don't have the margin, as Joy just told us. So when you are looking forward to scale, you will be having increase of the ad cost, and that's it. So sometimes people just came to us and like, okay, we're struggling, we cannot scale, and their whys are because they try to keep it like $30 per client, and it's not the way you scale. Really, it's in some cases just not possible to scale with this limited cost per acquisition. So you need to scale, you need to invest more into every new customer. And this is the way how you do it first. So your home task before all this is to have a model where you understand how you really make money, your profits. So before you go in and just start buying all your new customers with 3 times more cost than you did before, you need to understand how really you can make money from this very, very fast. So the thing that we want usually in every project is first that we understand that there is an effective amount of stock that you can use in ads. So in many cases, we can have a shop with 30 products, which are great products. But in sales, really, in advertising, I mean, only 1 or 2 products. So the effectiveness of the stock is 10%, for example. In some cases, and we have seen projects, we work with project up to 200,000 SKUs. When you don't invest like thousands of units in one SKU, I mean, when you have lower, like for example, 10 pieces of this size, 10 pieces of this size, like a lot of variations, So in these cases, your effectiveness of stock can be higher. But usually also when you are scaling amount of products in your shop, you don't need to be afraid of effectiveness. You just need to work on it. But still, not every product you launch will be working very well. And not every product you launch will be the product you can sell from advertising. But you still need to have a stock where you have some effective part of it, which you can really use in ads. So first things, we always test out which part of stock is good. So you need to understand like where you can invest money. And the thing is that what we are advertise is in most cases where different is what you can see on website. I don't mean you can tell people like we have this, but you don't have this on website. I mean that you can advertise one product, but on the page, on the landing page, for example, you can have 20 products, different ones. And the product you advertise can be on the second page even, But if you can keep the offer relevant still, for example, if this category is still relevant for you, it can work very well. So this is a different approach. You need to test what works in ads first, and you need to test what landing page works on the other side. And then you also need to test the audiences, of course, to understand this, but all this combined together, how it works. But these are 3 variations we test first. Audiences, we test what works in ad and what works on website to sell. After we understand this, we can scale a little bit better. And the next part for us, important one, is to be able to have a higher LTV from the customer. And there are 2 parts of LTVs. So first one is when you are making more money from this first sale. And the second part of LTV is all your secondary sales, for which you are making from retargeting, from email list, and from social media following. And as I told you, as you have more ads, you will have more social media following, bigger email list, and email list is your main goal. And you will have more organic search also. It will be not growing very fast, but as for example, a revenue from email list, but still it will be growing. So from advertising, you need to make first touch point, first sale, you need to make as much money as possible. So you need to really understand how to make cross sales or up sales or down sales first. So for example, you need to use just thank you page to upsell products, or even if you have one product, which is not the case whether you really can scale with mono products. It's very rare case when you can scale. It's like maybe one of your products can have one separate great landing page, but it's one of your 10 products, but you cannot really scale very well with if you have just one product. So your home task first will be, to test up more products. If you want to go to Shopify and scale and have big profits more than you have on Amazon, first you need to have some more products. Yeah. So, and this later on, if you have things to sell, but even if you have one product, for example, you can upsell. For example, if you will take a look at the biggest and the greatest funnels there in supplements, usually they sell one piece very cheap EV to start with, to test something, maybe $20. And it could be even zero profit for first sale, but if your product is good enough and you can sell it multiple times because the product is good, then you can tell people, okay, it's my favorite part, you can buy 3 products and you can save maybe 30% off. So its first part is when you bundle one product just multiple 3 times. And the best part is, of course, when you can bundle several products together. In fashion, you can create looks. Looks, the pages with looks, when you showcase this is how you can look in our outfit, full outfit, like jeans, sweater, or just maybe shoes with a purse. This is a great way how you can sell to some percentage of people extra product, and it will be just higher average amount of your average order value. So this is how you can make more money from average first sale. So looks in fashion, bundles in all other niches. And the other part is, which is my favorite also, is subscribe and save. When you can have 20 to 30% of discounts of your subscriptions, this is how you can really make people buy your first time, even with some percentage. For example, 20% of people can buy subscriptions like this. People sometimes are afraid of this and they say, okay, I'm not sure, because people are not buying it second time within second month. They sometimes buy it from third month or something. But the reality is, even if you launch it and they are not buying the subscription model from the first month or something, they will be seeing the subscription model and they will be still buying first time as it is. But the next time they will just go in several months and they will use the subscription model just because it's cheaper for them. It looks like it's cheaper, of course, 30% off. But for real, what you have, you will be having average increase from average your customer at least 2.5. This is what we have in hundreds of projects. We have average of 2.5 months averagely per year that we can keep a subscription with the customer. So on average, we don't even say it's with the great products or something. People are with you 2.5 months per year on average. So this is how you can control it. So implement bundles, implement subscriptions, and this is how you can make money both from the first sale more and just increase your LTV in the end. So when we speak about this, so we are focusing on only profit. So we are looking only at return on investment. And there is another misconception. People are thinking about the return on investment very, like it should be 300, 200 or something. They just have their imaginary number, but the real case is higher revenue will have less profits. So return of investment will be less in terms of percentage, but still the profit amount, the cash will be bigger. So it doesn't really matter for most cases when we scaled the brand and people were just astonished and like, so for real, if we will have like enough team, but we could do this ourselves. But they got this misconception first that they need to have some imaginary return of investment, conversion rates, or cost per acquisition. That's why they never scale. So this is how it really works. And you need just to have campaigns with a good return of investment. And this is how you really scale. And also, some campaigns you just cannot scale. You need to keep low. Some campaigns you need to scale as fast as possible unless you hit some point where okay, it's not profitable anymore, and I turn it off. So another part of all this scaling process is how we really turn ads off when we turn them off. We know exactly how much money we will make from our email list and organic and social media following. We know this part, it's very forecastable. You can know this. So what we do, we calculate the bounce point where we turn ads off. So we just launch and we scale very carefully. It's usually, if we dive deeper, like 30% every several days, and we check then the changes of return of investment from this ad campaign, so this column. And then we see, for example, okay, it's 2.4, and 2.4, we know we are not profitable anymore with this project because of the margins and everything, and our email list is not making it for us to be profitable. So what I'm saying, we are not checking only ads to be profitable. We are taking all the revenue we're getting from all the channels, and we know that we can spend on ads 20-30%. It depends on the willingness to scale. Sometimes in some cases we spend even 40% from revenue on ads, and we have maybe 10% in profit still, but we spend just to scale faster, but we know this 40%, we know the real amount of money we have, and we know when then we can turn the ads off, because okay, if we will go less than 2.4, it is not profitable anymore. It's more than 40% of from this campaign. So this is how we really scale. We don't look at ad campaign as it is should be profitable. And sometimes people ask us, Facebook says he give us some customers, and Google says that he also took part in this acquisition of those customers. So we only check in every system effectiveness of these ads. Even if Facebook was first touch point and Google was second touch point, it doesn't really matter much. Only thing that matters that we have our ad spend less than as a certain amount of percentage from revenue that we are comfortable with. If you are low on this amount, just calculate, check your competitors and see if they are bigger than you multiple times, then they are doing the thing I'm telling you, and just start increasing percentage from revenues that you're spending on ads, even if you're very bad in your advertising. And we will work on this in our community later on. But even if you're bad with your ads, you can still scale your email list and everything. And with more data, you will have more opportunity to improve your shop, to improve your email list, to segment and everything like this. You will still have more money in the end of the day because you have email list. Of course, you need to work with email list. It's not like it's coming like you have email list and it equals more revenue. So you need to work on the other hand with email list also, but still the process is this way. You scale because your fixed amount of a percentage from revenue spent on ads, and you just spend as much as possible. And other part, of course, we do a lot of work how we optimize ads. It's not just like we put the money there and we just scale. No, of course not. But in order to be effective with scaling and just to scale and not being stuck, just think about misconceptions that you might have focused some why, because somebody told you some conversion rates that should be there, it doesn't really matter. Only thing that matters is your profits, and they will increase only when you will increase your traffic. And first thing that you can increase is really ads traffic. Then you can acquire more influencers, because for example, like we do with, or like with brand Mary Moore, with Daniel, who was on our first day, they have really a huge outreach of influencers. And later on, when they come and they influencers agrees to work with us, so what we sell to them, that if your content is good enough, if you have some sales for us and we see it, we will pick 1 out of 5 influencers and we will do advertising for you. So what we have, for example, I don't know, some Kate and Mary Moore, like, a partnership ad, and we spend ads on her page. So she is getting more followers like this, more reach and engagement from users, and we get much more sales. So for this campaign, sometimes we have 20-to-1 return of investment, 20-to-1. But the thing is, those ads are not scalable a lot. It's just because the audience of this influencer is not so big. So we are using a little bit of audience of this influencer. So we are looking forward to work with advertising and influencers together. So growing traffic, we can acquire bigger influencers. We can sell them better how to work with us, because of we have huge traffic. You will have much bigger email list. You will make more money from your email list. And on other hand, in the end, also you will grow your organic traffic. So this is how it works. And at some point we know, okay, so we want to scale faster, but we have all these ad campaigns, and we see already so that effectiveness of launching new ad campaigns and new creatives doesn't work so well as it was maybe when we launched 10 campaigns per month. So 20 campaigns per month doesn't really make sense, because effectiveness is lower and lower with every campaign we add. So at this point, we understand, okay, Facebook is enough. Google is enough. We go to TikTok, we go to Pinterest, we go to Reddit. So we just go to multiple channels, which every channel have a little bit different audience, but also it helps us to cover some point of customer acquisition on his customer journey, which help us to increase the percentage of people we can convert. So in the end of the day, we still have much more sales. So we use omni-channel approach, and it's much more simple than you think. We just need to work with every cabinet, with every platform separately, and just give it time sometimes, because Pinterest, Reddit, sometimes they're not so fast. Twitter is not so fast with results. So, but it doesn't mean you need to invest 6 months or something. I mean, just not several days. It could be several weeks. So if you are doing your homework, then you can have good results. So I can show you like this, for example. So we test a lot of stuff. So for example, you can see there is 23 campaigns. It's good. It's Facebook reporting. So 23 campaigns we launch, and out of these 23 campaigns, after testing a lot of stuff inside, we have really scaled and used only 5 or 6 campaigns to get some revenue. And all other campaigns, they just don't work out for us. We just do a lot of campaigns. We put a lot of content out there, thanks to influencers also. And that's how we really scale. We just do a lot of content, do a lot of analytics, do a lot of ad campaigns. And then in the end of the day, we try to get campaigns with a lot of data, like 50 plus sales per week in one campaign. And this is how we scale. But if you do all this process like a checklist, you cannot scale. But also, if you are stuck with some misconceptions with the numbers somebody told you somewhere, or you just imagined yourself, it doesn't work like this. So for real, of course, yes, we had campaigns giving us insanely good results, like 20-to-1 return of investment. This light blue column ROAS, return on ad spend. You can see 20-to-1, 17-to-1, 13-to-1, 13-to-1, 10-to-1, 7-to-1. 6-to-1, but really the scaling happens, and we have really revenue, and we can scale campaigns which are lower with the return on investment. That's how it works. You cannot change the market. That's how all ads tools are working. So you need just to work on these rules, and scale within them. And it's really this easy. You can just, go and put a lot of work into content, so you have variety of content. You cannot scale with one photo shoot or something, but when you have all this content and there are AI which can generate content for you right now, you can pretty much scale. So I'm pretty sure it's much easier than what people usually think. It takes team, it takes some expertise, but this is this easy. So all these parts together connected, what everyone shared with you. I'm making sure that we have enough mentorship in our community. So I want to have everyone in place so you can get rid of all of the misconception. It doesn't matter for me if you have 10 million in revenue. On the every scale, I mean, to 100 million per revenue, I'm pretty sure there are still a lot of misconceptions and room to increase and improvements on different points. Sometimes you are very good with your shop, with your ads, and you need just to focus on adding more products and launching them with some special process to test them and see if this product is good enough to scale within your shop. And then you can maybe have another hero product. But sometimes you have very good products already, but you don't have a good shop. I have seen so many shops and they try to scale and launch ads with insanely good products, but the shop is just, it's catalog style. It's nothing about selling. There is no sale process, nothing. It's just catalog of products. You cannot scale like this. And when you do an advertising, just product focused, you just focus your product, you cannot scale this easier. So inside the community, I will make sure, guys, that you have all these places together and we can work on this to grow. Tomorrow, you will be having 100 million of revenue guys who will tell you how it looks like to get rid of most of misconception and start scaling, because usually misconceptions is what heading us back from the results we want. And I know at one point that maybe wanting some results is sometimes better because of dopamine and all this stuff. But for real, if you are having a process in your mind, when you reach some results and you have another goal, it's much better than just keeping on this pace with stress and trying to invest and grow. Sometimes people are not like just growing and they stuck in several years with the same revenue. And they still are like, in this dopamine, they have some happiness within this, but still they dream of growing. So my goal inside our community also is to work on mindset so we really can grow. So if you have guts and you really wish to grow in our community, and I will present you how we will work inside the community, I will tell you about the masterminds and how they are special. They will be different. They will be more about results than just people talking together and just fancy masterminds. But we will be doing all this together inside our community. And this is how we will grow and really focus on challenges and go in these challenges and not be just speaking about them. So for me, it's very important to get rid from all the misconceptions for myself and to help you. So if you have any questions for mindset and how you can improve here, just please keep all this information for tomorrow. All these speakers will, I'm pretty sure, just blow your mind, and then later on we can work together with them also. But first of all, I think working with yourself, just in network, checking what everyone else is doing and checking things when you thought it one way, but it was just your misconception, and you can be doing it already months before for much easier than you think. I think that's very important. So guys, thank you. It was very hard day, I think, with a lot of a little bit boring but inspiring information, and we will be working together with you all the next months, all this year on your goals. Thank you very much, guys.